Hello, I'm Burrito, and welcome to my second video tutorial on how to play Millia-Rage. Today we're going to be going over Millia's movement options, how to structure your air combo on different weight classes in the air to secure knockdown, and how to corner carry, relaunch, and throw combo. Millia has one of the fastest dash speeds in the game. Not only does this let us approach our opponent quickly, but our run is also low profile, allowing us to slip under certain attacks such as May's Dolphin and Johnny's Misfiner and FS. We can also use our run to mix up our approach and bait buttons to whiff punish using FD braking. With no meterless reversal, and our only metered reversal being somewhat lacking, we typically rely upon backdash as one of our best defensive options. This is because Millia has one of the fastest backdashes in the game. Our backdash gets even better with instant block, getting us out of some sticky situations. Forward roll is a pretty useful tool for setting up okizeme and throws. Be careful, as when used on a blocking opponent, if they're expecting a forward roll, they can simply throw or mash you out of this. Condition first. We can forward roll to set up a disc, set up a throw, forward roll is also low profile, and it can go under some moves such as Chip 2S and Johnny 2H. Forward roll can also come in handy when trying to escape corner pressure. It's risky, but it can pay off. I covered the usage of pin a little bit in the previous video. Simply the threat of pin can make it scarier for your opponent to approach you in the air, as well as when you're approaching them. With concern to the usage of pin for certain matchups, it is advised to maintain one's pin to help with knockdowns, and one should minimize its use in neutral for certain characters. This includes characters who are hard to knock down, such as Baiken, Bridget, Johnny, and Kai, or characters who are difficult to lock down and with typical okizeme, such as Slayer and Zappa. One of the things that makes Millia particularly unique is not only that she can air dash twice, something that only some cast members have, but she is able to air dash cancel 3 of her air buttons, JS, JH, and JD. We can use our air dashes to mix up our approach like so. Here we can see we can use our air dash cancel to keep pressure going. Simply faking an approach like so can make it harder for our opponent to tell when we'll be attacking. If our opponent is anti-airing too much, we can use our trusty pin. Turbofall does not see too much use in neutral, and will be covered more when talking about okizeme. It should be mentioned that Turbofall can be cancelled into specials, such as S Tandem Top or Iron Savior, to surprise our opponent. Here we can see we get out of corner with Turbofall, corner okizeme mix-up, mid-screen okizeme mix-up. Up next we'll be covering how to think about structuring air combos. On screen I'll provide a generalized guide on how to go about utilizing Millia's air buttons to achieve knockdown. When we're comboing an opponent in the air, the few things that should be going through one's mind are: what is the weight of my opponent? What is the current height of my opponent? How does the opponent's hurtbox interact with my own hitboxes? For this final point, typically characters such as Johnny, Kai, and Eddie should be considered mid-combo. Try thinking of our main air combo tools, JK, JS, and JH, as height adjusters. JK to raise our opponent's height slightly, JS to raise our opponent's height slightly more, and JH is typically used to gain horizontal distance. Keep in mind that when hit, a lighter opponent is popped higher into the air compared to a heavier opponent. A heavier opponent is popped lower into the air compared to a lighter opponent. If necessary, we can use a jump cancel on our JK to raise our own height a little bit, or adjust Millia to the left or right like so. This is what a typical air combo looks like for Millia. Notice we end our air combo with J2H. Our goal is to keep our opponent's height low enough to knock down with J2H. Before we get started, in the description below I've provided a link to Blitz's channel that contains specific combos for each character. I will now provide bread and butter, meterless, and pinless corner carries for every possible character. If you are new, for now, do not worry about learning the unique exception routes. focus on these first two combos that work for most of the cast. Near the end of the video, I will cover how to use resources to help with knockdown. You can skip to this timestamp if you need that now. Up next we have meterless and pinless relaunch. These are more difficult but can score us more distance, getting us closer to the corner. Again, if you're brand new, focus on corner carry section's first two combos first, then come back to relaunch once you're more familiar with Millia. If you're ready for this section, again, focus on the first three combos here, then move on to the unique exceptions. Throw combos aren't too different from air combos. The only real difference being our goal after the throw is to dash in as deep as possible for the first hit. Next up is a short section on stabilizing freestyled air combos and help with knockdowns. If a combo ever feels as if it is falling apart, or knocking down seems difficult, we can use J236D AirFB disc after JH or J2H. This helps us stabilize and seek a knockdown as AirFB disc has a lot of untech time. This can allow us to do a few options based on the situation. If we're early in a combo, we can 2H and follow up with our usual air combo, or we can air dash with a JD. There may also be some situations where your target can end up behind you while you're trying to carry them to the corner. This usually happens when your target is too high and slips behind you while you are in JH air dash cancels. Sometimes we can turn this tricky situation into a knockdown using AirFB disc. Similarly to AirFB disc, we can use pin to help us confirm knockdowns. The main situation where we can use pin to help us knock down is J2H. Here we can see we can get a secret garden after S-pin 6H. So, if your opponent ever seems too high for J2H to knock down, S-pin to 6H can sometimes pull through if you're early enough in a combo. Before we end the video, I'll supply a quick recap of the 4 most universal combos to learn from this video for you to get started with. Remember, if it seems like your opponent isn't in the right position to be knocked down by J2H, utilize pin or FB disc to secure the knockdown. You'll find that these 4 combos can be applied to every character with the right resources, pin or FB disc. In the next video, we'll be covering the most fun part, in my opinion, of Millia-Rage. Basic mid-screen Okizeme options, basic corner Okizeme options, how to keep the pressure going after failed Okizeme, and setting up and utilizing Secret Garden. Thank you so much for watching, good luck, and have fun.